Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Katika. So today I really want to talk about something that hit me so hard that I will admit that it kind of took me for a loop, and that is postpartum hair loss. So my hair that you see now is not the original length of my hair. I actually recently cut it last week Saturday. I went to my normal monthly spa self-care treatment and came back, and noticed I still had a few damage ends that from bleaching my hair that I wanted to cut those pieces off because it was shedding a lot. And I got scissor happy. So it started like here, and then it got here, then it got up to here. So that's where we are currently. This is it. In some of my previous videos, you will see that it was a lot longer when I started probably by here, but the part of it is I actually cut it maybe like, this is probably like my third or fourth time cutting it this year, and I'll show some photos as well. So let's rewind and go back a little bit. So here's how it all started. 2019, first of all, I have a 14-year-old. I know I've mentioned that before. I do not ever recall having hair loss to the extent that I have currently. So I'm gonna say I don't remember that. I was like 25 when I had my daughter. I was married and I was 25. So I don't recall that. I had my hair natural at the time. My hair was not natural at the time. It was relaxed. But I always kind of kept my hair low at that time and always cut my hair because I always felt like it made me look younger. So I just had it low. So since 2012, I started my locks as well. That's when I started my locks. 2019, I found out that I was pregnant with my second child. This is my second marriage, and went to the. At first, I didn't even realize I was pregnant. Actually, I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" Found out, I was pregnant with multiples. Unfortunately, I had a miscarriage, so I lost those babies. And so, of course, with pregnancy, we know about postpartum. We know that hair loss are hormones. When we're pregnant, we got all these hormones. Estrogen level is increasing. Our hair is growing. Everything is beautiful. And then after we have the baby, we know that doesn't happen. But my story did not end there. So let's continue. That was 2019. Had my miscarriage. 2020, almost exactly a year later, I found out that I was pregnant. And thank God I had, as a result, a healthy baby boy. He's now about 1.5 years old. And, he was born in December of 2020. And during my pregnancy with him, my hair got much longer than it was. It was probably like, oh my gosh, like all the way down to my back. It was almost my butt at one point. But I just remember looking in the mirror, and it was just so shiny and beautiful, and just like long flowing locks, like I said, like probably like all the way down here. And I'll show some videos, right, or a photo I should say of it, so you can see how long they were. Just so pretty. Was thick and long, and I was fine. And up until that was December, I had him. Then we had January, February, March. About March, April-ish, I realized that my hair was not as filling as thick as it used to. And let me remind you guys, for those of you who don't know me, all my life I've had very thick hair. So it was always like super thick, super thick. Let's just leave it at that. And I'm gonna see if I can find a couple. This is not even how thick my hair was. This would probably kind of give you of how thick my hair really is from the roots, right? Just to give you an idea. And I remember going like this, and I was like, my hair feels a little bit thinner. So I asked my daughter. She's like, no, it looks okay. But I know my hair. This is why it's important for you to know your body. Make sure you're taking the time to pay attention to what's going on in your body and what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. Just a side note. So then I looked at, so it's like, no, something is still off. I asked my husband. He's like, no, it looks fine. But then one day I just realized it just got thinner, like my roots. Before I got to my roots, I realized my edges thinning. They thinned out a little bit. This is pretty decent compared to where it was before, just to give you an idea. It first started thinning with the edges. And then I was like, okay, maybe it was just me. So I started to put some old-fashioned castor oil. I just used the clear one, not the black castor oil, just the plain one that I had, the Benjamin's castor oil from Jamaica. I used that on my edges, and then it came back in, and I was like, okay, maybe it was just a fluke. Maybe it was just me in my head, like they said. I was just like, oh, okay. So once that came in, then I realized the rest of my hair started to really thin out. Like I could feel the difference. And I'm going to show you guys just some of the things, what I had to deal with. But anyways, not only did hair start to grow back in a little bit, everything else was just thinning. And then one day I was just in my head like this, and I found a bald spot. I don't know if I could probably still show it. But anyways, I have photos to show of those too. And when I found out, I was like, oh my goodness, I am going bald. I was crying because I was like, what is going on? Why do I have patches in my hair? I'm about to cut my, like, what is going on? I am losing my hair. And my husband trying to be supportive. Well, you're not your hair, and I didn't marry you for your hair. I was just like, I know that. However, I have bald spots in my head, okay? That's not normal. And of course, my mom was like, well, it's genetics. It runs in the family. I was like, no, it's not. I said, I am not claiming that part of that genetics because that's not my hair at all, right? Then, of course, continue going on. And then also, let me just kind of maybe all these different hormonal things might be where my hair kind of just went like crazy because my hormones have been out of whack. So as I mentioned before, 2019, I was pregnant and I had a miscarriage. 2020, I had my baby in 2020 in December. And 2021, I found out I was pregnant in October. Unfortunately, I had an ectopic pregnancy, so that's a whole nother video to itself. Not a pleasant experience. So as you can see, I've been pregnant for the past 3 years. 2019, 2020, 2021. And my daughter's like, let's go 2022. So, but we'll see what the good Lord says. So anyways, back to my story. The hair loss just continued. And let's take a look. As you can see, the difference between here, this piece here was how thick my hair was before the shedding or the breakage starts, where they call it shedding because while you're pregnant, your hair doesn't really shed as much because your estrogen level is increased. So you're going through this phase where after you give birth and your hormone levels change, now all this hair is now shedding. That's what they said. So if you take a look, you can see the roots here, right? I have a perfect one to show, and I have plenty of photos, but I want you to see how thin my hair is right here. It was like on the verge of popping, and this is not the only one. This is the one that I'm showing now. And if you take a closer look to the roots, you can see where it's getting thick again. And I'll tell you about some of the things that I've been doing to help with my postpartum hair loss. But I just wanted to share my journey because it was heartbreaking for me, and I know a lot of women out there are dealing with postpartum hair loss, and I know it's not easy, and I know it can be stressful. At least I know I was stressed, and everybody's like, don't stress over it, your hair will grow back. It is so easy to say that, but when you know that you have all your edges gone, you have several bald spots in your hair and trying to cover them up and try to find, it's hard. Giving birth to these babies are beautiful, but the side effects sometimes you're like, oh my goodness, okay? So it was a struggle for me. I will say it did really have me in a place where I was not necessarily stressed, but I did feel a little stressed, a little depressed about my hair not being what it was. And you know, in photos you will see where it was super long. So anyways, I end up bleaching my hair again red, because red is my favorite color. And but as long, I was like, I'm gonna cut my hair when I'm 40 anyway, so it's okay. So that one bleach turned into, oh my gosh, with how long my hair was and how heavy it was, I felt like that was adding to the pressure of my scalp, which would make my hair fall out even more or faster. So I ended up cutting it, and it was like maybe about here, maybe. Then I was like, no, it's great, let's cut somewhere. So then it get to like a shoulder length, and shoulder length became a bob, and a bob became what it is now. And I actually love it. So with my hair starting to grow back, here were some of the things that I did to help to kind of wrap this all up. One, I actually started to change what I was using to wash my hair. I found this tea tree shampoo on Amazon, and it has biotin inside of it as well, and tea tree oil and peppermint oil. So I used that in my hair to wash my hair. Then I started to wash my hair on a weekly basis and also do hot oil treatment that included like olive oil and castor oil. Also added just, you know, retwisted my hair, but not as tight. I never retwist my hair as tight because I was always afraid of losing my hair because of that. So I started to retwist, but not really retwisting it at all. It was just really, really light, so it still looked as if my hair was not done. That was one of the things. Then I spoke to my doctor, and I was just like, it's increasing, like it's getting worse. And then she told me about 5 things that I needed to do to also help, you know, continue to take my prenatal vitamins, which I was already taking those, but it wasn't really helping. So I went to for my annual checkup. I did a routine where she took a look and checked my vitamin levels, just to make sure everything was where it needs to be, or to see if I need to increase my vitamin levels. And then she gave me 5 things to do, and those were: 1, increase my protein. She told me about eating an egg a day. Egg was like the best source of protein. Honestly, I hate eggs, but I had to eat it, right? So that was a good source of protein. Folic acid, she mentioned, was necessary, you know, increasing my B12 as well, having some biotin and iron, right? Those were the 5 things that she mentioned I would need to increase. So I went ahead and bought some extra. I bought biotin supplement. I actually got the Geritol because they had B12 and iron already for me, which is really disgusting. It is so horrible. But I figured I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That's something my grandmother used to say. So at least I got my B12 and my iron from that. And then I'll continue to take my prenatal vitamins that have enough folic acid that I needed anyway. And just continue to take my other vitamins. So all of those really helped. And as you can see, what I also did, that helped to take care of the internal piece of it. Because when I was doing the external piece, it wasn't enough. And in the external piece, I did continue to wash my hair with that tea tree oil. I did continue to use my castor oil, which is that clear castor oil. Then I got avocado oil, so I will like add some of that to my hair. And let's back up. I did try Donna's Secret Recipe. Maybe I didn't use it long enough. I know someone else, my sister-in-law recommended, and the lady that used it, and it helped her. It did not help me, but again, the castor oil worked for me. Different things work for different individuals. For me, increasing my vitamins and continuing those external things work. So I would really say the vitamins helped me a lot, as well as the additional external routines that I was using. And I'm excited to see that my hair is starting to get thick again. Like, oh my gosh, y'all don't understand how thin these were, and how you can see, especially this one at the front, because it's hard for me to kind of show the top. Most of them looked like this before, where was this breakage right here, was like any moment, it was just kind of hanging by a thread. And this was just like a month, 2 months ago, you know, to now here, where it's actually starting to get thick again. And I just said that to my daughter. My husband was like, my hair is getting thick again. I'm so excited. So that's my journey on postpartum hair loss. It was a struggle for me. And I want other mothers out there to know, or those who are dealing with postpartum hair loss. They say it's natural, it's a part of the process, but it doesn't truly prepare us mentally to deal with it, because I wasn't ready to deal with it mentally. But having a good routine or outlet or someone or a doctor that you can talk to about what is best to help you. Yes, it will grow back. Yes, for some it may take longer. Yes, for some it may be worse. And y'all gonna see my pictures gonna be like, oh my gosh, this girl is really losing her hair. But figure out what works for you. Talk to your doctor. Look at your routine. Look at the vitamins that you're taking. Look at the products that you're using. All of that can help with your hair growing back or being as thick as it was before. And it may take time, but it's okay. Give yourself that time. It took us like 9 months to have a baby, right? And to go through that process. So it's not gonna happen overnight. So give yourself some time. And one thing I know, like my family, I was like, give yourself a break. It's okay. It's okay. So until next time, enjoy your journey and don't forget to smile and enjoy the process. Like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, it's okay to be selfish to you as a mom. Take time out for yourself. It's okay. I promise you, they'll be okay.